Akeem,
What's up?
we're going to a Hymnals for Hip Hop panel. How do you feel? What are your expectations? You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I didn't even know it was going, but check this out. Now that I know we're going there, I want to see how it correlates. So I'm happy to see the relation.
Well, how do you feel being a
rap producer?
Yeah.
I hope
And
it's not.
boy,
I hope it's not a judgmental.
I don't think it will.
Yeah. So I hope that they but teach how to relate spirituality.
You know, there's your teacher right there.
Oh, he did.
He's one of the people on the panel.
We lit. We lit. We lit.
As I am without one plea.
That's one thing. I ain't gonna lie. That one nice.
Ooh.
It's great to be here with all of you and to have a great discussion just about the impact or the African American impact and influence on music in America. So just talking about from hymnals to hip hop, that title I think is very befitting because a lot of the music in the African American church or in the African American tradition started out, at least in America, as spiritual music or music that the slaves would sing from Bible stories that they learned during slavery. And a lot of it is in the traditional call and response style. Oh, no more pain, I shall be like him. Cease patience, I shall be like him. Of the African tribes or African slaves brought that same tradition with them over to the Americas. So they would have work songs.
Sun up to sundown, making that cotton. Sun up to sundown, work for the master. Sun up to sundown, chains and shackles, no more option block for me.
So what we've heard nowadays, I'm gonna roll up in the dark kingdom and I good news. It would not have sounded like that. It would not have been like that. The closest thing that we have nowadays to the way Negro spirituals actually sounded are lined hymns. A lined hymn is a hymn where the leader says the phrase first, the entire phrase, because the congregation more than likely can't read, right? So they say the entire phrase, and then the congregation sings it. So the one I was singing earlier, a charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, charge to keep I have a God to We did not practice that.
Elements within this music, and I'm sure you know this, but that reflects on this concept of group participation. So where I'm from, the southern tip of Africa, we have this concept called Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is this idea of I only exist as an individual because we exist as a community. And so in a lot of this call and response, it's like the thought isn't completed until the community has added to it. So you'll hear that we only start at the start of a phrase or the start of a sentence, but it's not a complete thought until the whole community is invested. And so there's this, in the DNA, there's this inherent communal aspect already that we may not see in music from like the Anglo-Saxon church.
We definitely come together over music. There's certain songs that you can play right now, and every last one of them will be wide open. Like just into it, because music is a huge part of the African American community.
The cool thing about the genres is that it kind of is based on syncopation, filling in spaces in the music. So, like you said, like taking that which you have, manipulating it, inventing on top of it. inventing new sounds with the instruments that you have at your disposal. So every time you have a culture that just innovates and develops and sees these opportunities and just keeps doing this thing, and we have the time periods between these genres being developed and invented becomes shorter and shorter, so it just becomes this like snowball effect just of innovation and creativity, which is awesome.
Is that while you may not be able to make the direct correlation between gospel music and popular music, they both borrow from each other. So secular music borrows from the church on a regular basis, and over the course of years it's been happening. And the church also borrows from secular music. The difference is, it's okay when the secular world borrows from the church. But when the church borrows from the secular world, there's usually a problem. So this is a Rico love song. And it's called Too Busy, or somebody else. This is what it's called. I'm gonna sing his, and I'm gonna sing mine, okay? So he'll say, even though I know you're too busy loving somebody else, you're a million miles past home. I wish my bed was warm, loving somebody else, and singing from your heart, say, singing from your heart, say, trap music is the music of the neighborhood, right? Typically, of whatever neighborhood that particular individual came out. Trap music usually is considered the music of the lifestyle of drug dealers, or people who trap, or people who work in the trap house, is exactly what trap music is to anything. Because most trap music is the same formula, okay? As far as chord progressions, as far as beat. In fact, what makes it so recognizable beyond the message, trap music typically has a particular part. The thing that makes it relatable to the rest of hip hop and the African American tradition is the message. And a lot of times it's not necessarily an uplifting message. It's a message of, this is what my life is. This is what I have to do, and these are the reasons I have to do it. And if I don't do it, these people don't eat. And because I do it, I might die. I might get killed. This may happen. These are my life circumstances, which is the very same thing that the Negro spiritual did. A lot of it, if it wasn't a message about what's going on or what's happening or what we're about to do, it's a message of, this is how I feel. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows nobody knows. Spiritual, right? There was no secret message in there. It was, this is awful. This is my life right now. Trap music is the same. It's got a hit beat on it, but at the end of the day, no one wants to live a life where you have to do something illegal every day just to make a living, just to feed your children. Nobody wants to live like that. Nobody wants to know you might die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the way that it correlates is really with the message, more than the sound.
Do you think there's a reason why that call and response that you've seen in music for centuries is no longer as prevalent in genres like trap or rap?
It's still definitely there.
Yeah, the heyday of call and response obviously is when music was interactive, right? So when we start with hip hop and we're like in the South Bronx and we're at these like Jamaican sound system street parties, you have people that can like call back to you. And that's really how rapping started, is you had somebody who just like, was at the turntable and then somebody shouting over the mic like, somebody double parked, or your sister's here to get you. Like just these random ideas, or communication that were shouted over the mic. So it was a very interactive experience. And then as the culture industry kind of wakes up and realizes, hey, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of potential here. Everybody's wearing Adidas, and you're solidly in the 80s. Then it starts moving and it starts shifting, and so the DJs kind of fall out, but the MCs get really promoted, and radio tracks, the 4-minute radio track. And so when you don't have that, if the root of what the genre isn't based in actual live performance anymore and that interaction, then I think there's less motivation to maybe have those elements in it. So you'll still get kind of like shout-outs to it or sampling of it, but it's going to be 3 to 4 seconds of a song rather than a whole feature. If you think of Outkast, when they did their whole Hey Ya thing, like people freaked out because it was the first person to really do that, like unapologetically, in a kind of they had the corny little suits and corny little moves, and it's like, I say something, you shout it back, and people were into it, because it was so unusual in our very recorded music industry time.